Hey, what's up, Superdads? So, we'll talk today about easy grip training that you can do with things that you probably maybe have already. Pretty simple and really quick to get through. Now, probably the best kind of grip, and I should actually say forearm training, because grip training and forearm training aren't exactly the same thing. The best kind of grip training that you can do is probably just to hang. Okay, so if you have a bar, now my bar is kind of thin, so if you have a really thin bar, then I would suggest getting some towels or something like this that you can wrap around it. And there's a couple key points about how you wanna do this. Okay, now you can hang your towel over something like this and hold on to it like that, especially if you're training for something like judo or jiu-jitsu and you want to develop that sort of grip training where you're gripping cloth, right? Or use a gi or something like that to hang over it. But unless you have a towel that's really thick, like if it's even a little bit thin, this can be quite difficult to do. So the one that I do more often is just to drape the towel over like that. Can you even see that? Okay, drape it over like that and hold it here. Now, when I'm holding it, I'm actually not trying to get the best possible grip. I'm not really latching on like this. Okay, I'm actually trying to grip it with just my fingers, if you can see that, because that's going to stress my forearm a lot quicker and it's going to work straight into the muscle. Whereas up here, I'm using my structure to assist me and a little bit more friction to assist me. If I grip on like this from the start, it doesn't take quite as long and it goes straight into my forearms. Okay, so then you just hang from there. And one thing that I like to do, because when you add this kind of extra difficulty to it, you will tend to fail relatively quickly, especially if you have any sort of decent body weight, right? Like if you're a large person, you're gonna fail probably quicker than is optimal. So I like to actually just keep my toes on the ground. So you can't see my toes, but right now they're on the ground. Okay, just barely touching, and I can add more support through my legs to keep my grip from failing too quickly. And I'm shooting for a minute hang or something like that. Okay, so that would be a really easy one if you have access to a pull-up bar. Number 2, this is for those of you who have a resistance band of some sort. This kind of resistance band I find is the best for this. And you're gonna think, well, that's too thin. Well, you can make it pretty tough. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stand on it doubled over like this. Okay, so I'm standing on both bands. And then you can see I have it at my sides here. Now, I generally start holding it this way and then rotating my wrists up like this. Now, to make it harder, just grip it like I was gripping it before, and that makes the moment arm a little bit longer because your hand is more extended and makes the resistance band feel more difficult. Okay, then you can switch over to the opening, so you're getting not the sort of thumb up motion, but the hand lifting to the side, or basically up, the knuckles moving up version of this. Same deal. If you grip it closer, it's going to be easier. If you grip it down here, it's going to be harder. And then finally, you roll it into the back like this, and right there. Okay. Now, a resistance band is actually very good for training your forearms because it allows you to move freely in all sorts of directions, whereas like a dumbbell wouldn't, or a barbell wouldn't allow you to do that. You don't need any equipment to do it. I mean, you can take this anywhere with you. So free motion, limited equipment. And the problem with a resistance band for most exercises is how the resistance curve of it increases sort of exponentially, like it suddenly gets difficult. But with this, the range of motion is so short that isn't really a problem. So that's a great one there. Okay. Now this is the one that I actually do the most, but for this you're going to need a kettlebell. Okay, but this is a great grip exercise. So let me show you what I'm doing here. First, I'm going to hold it like this. All right, by the horns, palms sort of down, and then I'm lifting it here. Now this is sort of a hybrid movement, a hybrid between the thumb up movement and the knuckle up movement that I was doing before, that I did in 2 different movements with my resistance band. Okay, when I do it here, I'm getting both of them at the same time. then I would switch that into doing it behind my back. Now, the key to doing it behind your back for really good effect is that you want to grip the bell, the top of the kettlebell, hard enough that it doesn't move when you lift it like this. So I'm really gripping the crap out of it, and that is allowing me to basically curl it with my forearms. Okay, now could you do it something like this where you're curling with your fingers? You sure could, but I find this to be much harder in a way, but also easier to perform. It's less technical. Okay, and then I would switch back, and I would do, at least one more set of each of those where I training my grip, which I am today, but I'm turning off video and really do that. Okay, so there you have it, 3 ways to train your grip with just sort of simple implements. Hopefully you have one of these. Typically I would do a holding, one of the hanging ones that I showed at the beginning, and then one of the other ones, because it does work your forearms versus your grip slightly differently, right? One is static, another one is dynamic, that kind of stuff. Okay, so there you go. I hope that's helpful, and get those forearms nice and strong.